What's going on, everyone? Juicebags here, and welcome back to some Dungeon Defenders 2 and another Hero Spotlight. Now, today we're going to be talking about the Sky Stomp Initiate. We all know, everyone that's played the Dryad or the Gun Witch knows exactly how fun and powerful it can be to double jump and fly. And with the Sky Stomp Initiate, we have an opportunity to do just that. Now, the build, of course, is 100% based around having the Glaive of the Storm's weapon. Now, this weapon has a chance of dropping from the Power Surge Incursion, plus that will unlock it in town for the Wayfarer. Now, it's important to note it's not always there at the Wayfarer, so if it's not there, you're going to want to either disconnect or leave that town and then log back in and check again, as it does have a chance of being there, but is not there every time. Obviously, you want the one that's higher tier, that's going to roll based off of the strongest hero that you have in your deck. So once you get all decked out in Chaos 7 gear, that's when it is well worth the purchase for just 500 Defender medals. Now, as I mentioned, this build is based off of the Glaive of the Storms, and it is also an ability power and hero crit build. We'll get into all the armor pieces and the shards here in just one moment, but I wanted to show you why it is ability power hero crit. Now, first off, the ability itself plus the stomp both scale off of ability power. So basically you're going to shard everything based off of ability power. Now, the regular cloud damage that it does over the mobs is not significant. However, if you see those red numbers there, it does have a chance to crit, and in this case, with my hero crit damage scaling, it's critting for 1,000,000. So just floating over the mobs, you have a chance, just from the cloud damage, without doing anything else, to do 1,000,000 DPS. Now, in addition to that, we also know that this alters our primary attack. So we get our little Star Wars-ish lightning bolt action going there, and the damage is not out of control. You know, you're not going to win any DPS contests with this build. However, if your objective is not just to kill the target dummy in the tavern, this build is just amazingly fun and an absolute blast to play in the matches. Now, although the damage itself from the cloud and from the primary attack are not significant, we're basing this entire build off of the ability to do the old Sky Stomp. And as you see, that's hitting for 3,000,000 plus the comeback, so it's doing 4 to 5 million damage total from each stomp, which is pretty significant. Now, of course, the fun aspect of this is get as high in the air as you can. By all means, do it on a map that has just an insane amount of flying space, and do it from way up high, because that's what makes it the most fun. Now, since we're basing the majority of this build 100% off the stomp, of course, you just can't go without having Smashing Fists. This is gonna, just like the Pole Smash for the Monk, this brings the pain to the Siege Rollers. The Smashing Fist causing crushing damage, which the Siege Rollers are vulnerable to in their sweet spot, so you're able to take them out usually in 2 to 3 stomps. Now, I've also got Overwhelm, which, to be honest with you, I was kind of searching for that third shard to put in the weapon, and I settled on with Overwhelm just to make sure I had a little time to get in and get out after I did, my stomp, assuming that there's something that is back on the ground and did not get hit. Now, Smashing Fist is going to drop in Chaos 4, Overwhelm is going to drop in Chaos 3, but by all means, use any shard you want in there. Just use something that scales off of ability power, will be your best bet. Now, in the helmet, we do want Inspiration. Inspiration is a Chaos 2 shard, which, as you see, reduces the cooldown of your abilities by 40%. This is a no-brainer, as all of the main Initiate abilities all have a cooldown, so you want to get that lowered down as much as you can. And then, of course, since we are slamming down into the middle of a pack, I always throw Worm Scarf in just to help reduce a little bit of that damage. And then Chi Burst increases Talisman Empowerment's critical damage boost by 20%. Now, a lot of people will ask, well, why? Why Chi Burst? It has nothing to do with this build. And it does, because it is insanely powerful. It's just a ridiculous ability for buffing your defenses. So one of the things I like to do is, say, come over and slam, and then immediately pop down a talisman and kind of walk away. And everything in that area will indeed be dead. Now, the inspiration, of course, is Chaos 2. Chi Burst is going to be Chaos 5, and then Worm Scarf drops in the campaign. Now, in the chest piece, kind of varied here. There really is no requirements in the chest. However, once again, Chi Supercharge is one that I'm always going to use. It drops in Chaos 7 just because of the power of the talisman. Bulwark is kind of a no-brainer. Anytime you're getting into the mix with mobs, Bulwark should be a shard that you go to. And that, of course, is available in Chaos 1. And then Retribution, because why not? You know, if I'm dropping in the middle of a crowd, I'm going to get hit. So Retribution will kick in, and that, of course, is from the campaign. Now, in the gloves, we've got a few required shards here. First off, Critical Strike. Critical Strike is insanely important. 10% increased hero crit. It makes a big difference. That's what gets you up to the 40% that we can currently get to on the Initiate. Now, then you're also going to want Pull Power, and while you're at it, you might as well take one with Chi. And here's the reason. First off, Pull Power drops in Chaos 6, straight up increases stomp damage. Can't go without it, must have it. One with Chi increases the damage of Draining Strike by 40%. Now, you're not going to be Draining Strikes spamming quite as often as you would be running around and giving the stomp. However, you cannot deny its effectiveness. It pierces through the pack, it heals you, and it's doing very nice damage. In this case, you see it's critting for about 2.5 mil. Not too shabby. So once again, Pull Power is going to drop in Chaos 6, Critical Strike is in Chaos 1, and then one with Chi is in Chaos 5. Now on the boots, the speed boost, obviously that one's from the campaign. That's kind of a must-have in every single hero, so just plan on always having speed boost in your boots. And then we're basing this build basically off of jumping and landing on the ground. So Quake, 50% chance when landing to deal 250% of your ability power as earth damage to nearby enemies. Although Quake is not significant, Quake does drop in Chaos 2, and it's another spot that you can fill in. Now, the stance shards will not be effective, the Dragon Stance or the Crane Stance, for this build, as the right click is no longer a thing. It's now altered. So those shards should not be doing anything. However, you do see, oh man, that is just so nice, just floating here and having crits of 1,000,000 plus go. Now, of course, that's not the fun part of it. That's just kind of the bonus. But you will have an absolute blast spamming around that slam. That is for sure. Now, we're going to follow the basic hero DPS Ascension guide for this one. So the very first thing that you want to go into in the utility category is always, of course, hero crit chance. As you're coming up through the ranks, put your points into hero crit. We're not really building on this hero, so the defense doesn't matter. Throw it where you want. And then in the offense category, the very first thing you want to just throw right into is that Chi Stomp damage. Now, if you do find yourself using the talismans frequently and you get in the habit of it, both of the talisman ascensions are very important as well. Now, as you see, I've kind of gone through the loop and I've gone into all of them. The one I haven't done anything with yet, or haven't filled out yet, is that crippling Chi wave damage. So that was the lowest priority for me, although it probably actually should have been higher than hero damage. I didn't really want to respec, to be honest with you. 50 gems or 200 defender medals starts to add up. So if I was to re-roll this, I would probably go crippling Chi wave first, and then go hero damage. As hero damage, we're only going to be taking that into consideration just for that last melee swing as we leave the pack before we run off. Now, of course, that last melee swing can hit like a truck, so you don't want to completely ignore it, but we're not basing this build off of being in the melee range of the bads. We're basing it off of our little zap, our little storm cloud damage, and then, of course, our bad boy stomp right at the end of it. So that will do it for now. Hopefully you all have a lot of fun on your initiate. You know, I understand it's the female counterpart of the monk. A lot of people are not super stoked about the initiate. However, you can't deny its effectiveness, and that talisman is insanity. So when you can combine just a ridiculously fun way to play with double jump and a fly, with the ability to take down rollers fast, plus just an insane defensive boost, it's really tough not to consider this a viable choice for Chaos 7. Anyway, that will do it for now. Thank you for watching. Click that like button and please subscribe to the channel. And we will be back soon with some more Dungeon Defenders 2. Take it easy.